Everybody, good morning. Good morning, good morning. Channel member Gaten, channel member Don, channel member Rex, channel member Darren, channel member Sergio, Sledged, Ted, Goose, Frank, Amy, Swinborn, Rongamer, Don. Good to have everybody and all the other subscribers tuning in. Glad to have you. If you want to chat on the live stream, say hey, whatever it is, ask me a question. Make sure to click the button down here in the bottom. Be a subscriber, channel logo. Be a subscriber on the channel. A few seconds later, you can chat on the stream. And if things I say are helpful, beneficial, consider being a channel member and getting access to more of the stuff I do. Brian, hey, good morning. And looks like for premium channel members, I am going to start doing this top 50 thing. For regular channel members, I may do like a top 10. We'll see what happens here. So just letting y'all know, son's wedding is finally done. Chris is back in action. Good to have you back. And today, holy moly, China ending its 13-day streak of up. I mean, what the heck? A 13-day record streak up with a $5 trillion yuan pump into their market, I guess you might say. Now, of course, the $5 trillion was not all in one go. It's going to be over a period of time. But, you know, they say sometimes the market is forward-looking, and it was expecting that money. Now, here is a record of China's stimulus, right? Every time their stimulus has gotten bigger, but the effect, the net effect, smaller and smaller. It's this chart right here is suggestive. It's going to take 5 times more money than we're talking about 25 trillion yuan to get the same kind of effect we had back here. That's what this chart is suggesting right here. The impulse credit has dwindled. The amount of the effect, the bang for the buck, is getting lower and lower. I mean, hey, that's similar to our U.S. economy right there. The stimulus we've got recently have less and less effect on taking us higher. I mean, it's all just kind of the way the market works. You know, the first time you do it, works really well. Second time you do it, it didn't work quite as well. Third time you do it, maybe not quite as well again. And the fourth and the fifth and the sixth time you do it, traders and everything, it's like, meh. Then you start shrugging it off like, oh, they're throwing out stimulus again, and you don't even care. And that's kind of how it works right there. So, yeah, let the free market reign, right? And right here today, Hang Seng ended its streak right there. Right there. We had a red day on the Hang Seng. That 13-day pump finally ended right there. Had a big up. I guess it was yesterday, and then today, down day for China. So anyway, I was actually, when I planned this last night, when I planned this subject, I was planning to warn that we were going to see a pullback. And then I come in this morning, I was like, oh, it happened. I guess sometimes I get lucky. Unfortunately, I think some people jumped on the bandwagon. So be careful out there. Be careful, be careful. We'll talk more about that here in a minute on unfortunately, all the China stuff is on the decliners list this morning, so we'll talk about that here in just a few minutes. So, ES, what do we got cooking here? Yesterday, we dipped back down. We did the classic thing. We did that classic move. We come up to the resistance. We retrace back to the 100. Now, can we hold? Can we hold here and get the rally up here? Can we do it? Can we do it? Can we do it? Can we do it? I don't know. That'd be what we're looking for right there. Now, if we don't hold here, that's where we're probably going to go back to the red zone again. Feels like a choppy topping action, right? Hunting for a top. So we look at ES and overnight action. Held a higher low so far. If we can hold yesterday's low, that strong reversal there. Couldn't break through the 15-minute roadmap line. That was kind of what I was. Yesterday morning, we kind of went through the 3-wave structure, right? And I had removed all this and it drew it all back. That's so cool. So cool. And we had drawn this move from the high here to the low here to the retrace here. And we drew on these 1272 targets here down. And I don't have it perfectly because, you know, right there. Around that 5725 area, we struck it and reversed strongly. Tried to bust through the 15-minute roadmap line, rejected back down, tried to go again, rejected all the way back down. This is so far a higher low. If we can maintain that higher low, as long as we don't break lower than here, we can edge the odds we're going higher. If we break below this low right over here, this one right there, that one right there, we're probably going down at least to 5,700. All right. And that's ES, that's S&P 500 futures. The numbers for the cash index will be slightly different. Slightly different. I can't really speak to what it is until we get to the open, but you can, in TradingView, you can do this handy dandy trick where you go ES1 exclamation point minus SPX, and it'll tell you the difference. Now, while the market's closed, it's kind of like unreliable. When the market opens back up, we get it pinned back up. So yesterday at the close, it was somewhere around, let's just go with the daily. That's easier. Right there. Yesterday it was roughly, let's take it off log mode so it quits being weird. Right around 50 points. Kind of see there's a line between the green and the red right there. It'll keep declining until we get out to December as it approaches 0. When the contract expires over here, kind of approach 0. Looks like that line is going to go about like that. So we'll get that constant bleed off. We see it over here for the September contract. Had a few bumps and humps along the way. Right there, we'll probably do that again. It's not the exact same difference every time. It does vary contract to contract. If you've never seen this before, everyone's a little different. But that's the bleed off between the futures and the cash index right there. So we've got about a 50-point difference. So when I say 5,700 on ES being the downside potential, that means we're talking 5,650 roughly on the cash index. We were at 5,710 on the close yesterday. So if we're breaking down lower, that's what kind of number we're looking for on SPX. Hopefully everybody understands. If you got questions about it, let me know in the chat. We'll circle back and try to do it again. And NASDAQ here, same sort of situation. We need this low right here to hold. If we break down below that low, we're going down. And honestly, this looks like it could be indicative of going on down. Those next levels for NASDAQ futures in Q, 19,783 and 19,750. Right there, I'm going to set me a few alerts, and then I'm going to set alert up here above this high. If we can break above that high before we break these lows, we're probably going up. If we break down below that low, we're coming on down to these. So there you go. And Russell, overnight action, still looking weak. And I suspected, it removed my head and shoulders. Cool. So I suspect we're coming down. We're going to complete this head and shoulders pattern is what I think we're going to do. Something like this. And then watch out below. That's what I kind of suspect we're going to do. We're going to finish out dropping back in here to some sort of neckline. Do another bounce to another lower high. Break down and go down. I am not convinced we're going to go up and hit this 2368 target. Not convinced one bit. The lower price action, lower time frame type price action is all very suspect. for going lower. Oil here, we saw the news. The Saudis announcing that they're going to go to a price war on oil if output's not cut or something like that, and which could take oil to 50, which is funny enough. Look where the target is down here. That's kind of funny. Like that. Look at that. That was off of mainstream media that I saw. Like that kind of $50 price target. Funny enough, it's already on my chart. And my kind of, I don't know, the long-term vision I've had here is that we have a fake breakdown here, and we break up back into this watermelon seed squeeze area and go ripping up right on through and beat the downtrend of highs. Go cruising out to 90. If we get through 90, test the big major resistance for the upside at 104.88, roughly 105. And then if we get above that, we set the odds. We're going to go cruising on up 150, 170. But we've got a lot of things to work through. Well, we're still down here in the potential where we can just drop out. Now, that $50 target comes from the beginning of the watermelon seed squeeze over here. That drop right there puts us at 50. If we pop, it puts us up here at 120. That's kind of the long and the short of it right there. And that's not a cut. They're not going to cut output. They're not talking about a cut. They want people to cut. But they're going to go into a price war and flood the market with oil if people don't cut. That's you gotta pay attention to what the story said. So GC right here, just chopping in the range, chopping. 2 inside days in a row. That's indecision. So we're waiting on what happens next. We've got this big fat candle right there. As long as we're inside that range, more of the sideways action. If we can break out, cruising on up to the next target. At this point, just a little baby pullback puts us the next target up around 27.16, 27.25-ish, somewhere in that neighborhood. Not a large. We're going to have to grind it to get higher unless we do a bigger pullback in gold. Now, this pullback right here kind of matches this one we did over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and blast off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can we blast off? I don't know. We'll see. I'm not trying to predict how long it'll consolidate. Down here, took us a couple weeks. We ripped again. So we have that opportunity. And silver, SI1 exclamation point, still trying to break out. Still trying to do it. Haven't gotten to the higher target yet. There's the market open. Bitcoin, still grinding on this consolidation. Still grinding the roadmap line right here. If you want the roadmap line, links in the description, or you can click on the channel homepage, the logo right down over here. Click my channel logo, go to the homepage, and watch the video that's like my favorite indicator with some arrows and this big orange line running through. Watch that video if you want to know more about it without paying anything. It's like $5. I give you a masterclass, I give you a weekly watch list. But there's 2 key patterns that I watch. One of them is a bounce off of this roadmap line, although we've kind of been smearing it up since back here in June. Just been above it, below it, above it, below it, above it, below it. So, and it's gone flat, which when it goes flat, there's not a lot of, like it quits acting as like a point where we bounce off of and starts acting like a magnet. It keeps bringing price right back, which is what we're seeing right there. And Kimberly, my favorite subscriber, tuning in. Hey, love to see you as always. And so that's what we've got cooking here on Bitcoin. That's what we got cooking on Bitcoin. Now, Ethereum, I still think this might need a lower low. Golly, got a little gravel in my throat this morning. Looks like we might need a lower low. And this is the low over here. One dip can clean this thing up. This came up shy of getting a lower low right there. Some people are like, well, the futures got it, and this, that, and the other spot market got it. But there we are. That right there wasn't a lower low, and we need the lower low to finish this pattern up. That's what we need. This is Coinbase. It's like the number 2 exchange for crypto for when you look at exchanges. Now, this is a fundamental shift for a lot of people. So crypto works like Forex. If you have no idea about Forex, there's no central price. Like what the price is on this exchange can be vastly different from the price on this exchange over here. All right. There's 751 exchanges listed on CoinMarketCap. There's probably more than that out there. But the top 2 are Binance and Coinbase worldwide. That's for trading volume and liquidity and all the things like that. Now, Bybit, also a large one. And if we search, if we actually sort by trading volume, you see Binance, Crypto.com, BTX, Bybit, FutureX, CoinUp.io. You've probably not even heard of some of these. Bantonex, KCEX, Whitebit, BuyKing, BitTrue. Look how far down we have to go to get to Coinbase. Isn't that crazy? So all these other exchanges are out there pumping tons of trading volume. But CoinMarketCap rates Binance number 1 and Coinbase number 2. All right. Now, price can be the point here. Price can be vastly different on any coin pair. And a coin pair is like Bitcoin US dollar, Bitcoin Ethereum, Ethereum US dollar, you name it. All right. There's 2 million cryptos. So I could go on for the next 20 days just listing a few and not even ever get there. Now, there's only 426 coins on this exchange. There's only 259 coins on this exchange. There's only 665 coins on this exchange. Where do you trade 2 million coins? There's not an exchange that has 2 million coins. All right, that's mind-blowing for a lot of people. But price is independent on each of these. There's no centralized price record like there is in the U.S. stock market. Stock market, Apple is trading for $150 today. That's the price everywhere. And if you deviate from the price, you get in trouble, like as far as an exchange goes. Now, these guys can quote whatever price they want. A buyer and a seller come together. They want to pay $1 for Bitcoin. It's $1 for Bitcoin. That's very rare because we have arbitrage opportunities for traders arbitraging between the exchanges. Now, that's not a game I can play. You may be able to play that game if you got enough money, but with the fees and stuff like that, sometimes that gets really hard to do. But that's how the price is kind of stabilized between exchanges, is with arbitrage opportunities. Like if Binance has all of a sudden got Bitcoin USD for like $2,000 cheaper than Coinbase, somebody's going to go sell Bitcoin here for US dollars and buy Bitcoin over here until that price comes back into line. And usually the difference is less than $1,000 on Bitcoin between exchanges. Not all the time, most of the time. And the smaller coins, it gets tighter and tighter between the exchanges because there's arbitrage opportunities. You can buy it over here, sell it over here, and get the money. Now, do I partake in that? No, that's not my game. Not my game at all. They have bots that do that, high frequency trading bots that take care of that. So when I say some places saw a lower low here on Ethereum, it wasn't all of them. All right. The majority, and this is Coinbase, did not make a lower low. I typically load up the bigger exchanges and watch the price. The bigger exchanges push more volume. It's more representative of what more traders are looking for. And right there is the low we need to break to clean this baby up. Right now, we've got to move up, a retrace, and move up. That's kind of 3-wave. That's a lower high. There's lots of problems here. One more lower low right over here can clean this whole thing up and set us up to launch on crypto. I think Bitcoin's waiting for its buddy Ethereum, even though Ethereum is way, way smaller market cap wise. You look at the dominance here. In the crypto market, Bitcoin is 56.9% of the entire crypto. And Ethereum is only 13.5 right now. It was 15. Now it's down to 13.5. So those two are the big dogs right there, as you might say. I mean, look at that. That's 70% of the entire crypto market. You know, like 2.4 million cryptos, 70% of it is tied up in the top two. Right there, the top two. It's absolute wild when you think about it. And then when you add in, I mean, look at right here, market cap, you know, not far behind Ethereum is US Tether at 119. And that's a stable coin. That thing pins to $1. So there's no real opportunity there. And then we drop on down $79 billion, $64 billion tied up in Binance coin and Solana coin. And then USDC, 35 billion. XRP, they just jumped around, 29 billion. Dogecoin right there, $15 billion. So we take out the top 10, and that's where the majority of the money is in crypto. And that's why commonly when I have crypto days, I'll look at the others, which is everything excluding the top 10. That's only $200 billion. Basically, the rest of crypto has the same kind of market cap as Ethereum. It's kind of wild when you think about it, right? When you exclude the top 10 coins, the other 2.4 million coins have the same market cap as Ethereum. That's just wild. Just wild. So, anyway. That's why I watch Bitcoin and Ethereum and just kind of ignore the rest. What those two are doing really sets the stage for the rest of everything. Crypto-wise, dollar probably coming back up to this resistance right here. Dollar right here, probably going up to this, like the roadmap line going to come down to this resistance zone. Looking like we're going to see that. That may continue while we see the market being soft. Once we get up here, the market may turn higher and this go lower. May. I don't know for sure. NKD, having a little trouble getting going. Now, this is set up a complex pattern. It's nesting up upward potential and downward potential, which makes me a little nervous, honestly. We touched the 618 right there and getting a red day. Tried to break above. The more times we try to break above something and reject, the more likely it is we're going to go down. All right. If we can get above this level right here, it's 39,000. Probably going to go push this 40,000 at least. And if we can break above these two prior highs here on NKD, it's suggestive that we're going to go on up even higher to that 44,000 target up here. We've rejected once, rejected twice, rejected 3 times with a big fat red. Rejecting again, trying to break higher. It's giving me, it definitely concerning me here that we may see a bigger flush. If NKD flushes, US market's probably going to flush. It's just probably going to happen. All right, it's a risk on, risk off situation. NKD flushes, probably going to affect the US market. All right, what's popping and dropping in the US markets? So I go load the list. The list comes from a pre-market movers from Market Chameleon. And everything that's moving $2 on up goes on the gainers list. Everything moving $2 or more down goes on the decliners list. And I go through them looking for opportunities. So, starting out, CEG is played out. And we bounced here. We came up. We're at targets. We might go 285. It's played out for now. ACN, this has opportunity to get continuation up to 404. We did the bounce coming up. We do have a little bit of potential. Didn't mean to click the drawing tool. We do have a gap down right there. Right in there, we have a gap down. Not a big one, but there is a gap that can create resistance going higher. 404, though, is the target. VST, that's at ridiculous targets. Be careful. Likely we're going to pull back again sometime in the future over here. come back, hit the roadmap line again. Why do I say that? Well, it tends to, after we go exponential, we tend to come back and hit the roadmap line, then go again. And we could push it on up, 155, 169, but eventually we're going to come back again. LEU, Centrus Energy, yeah, very nice. This could be a measured bounce. The one pattern I follow is the roadmap line. The other pattern is the measured bounce. Measured bounce pattern, suggesting we come up here. If you want to learn more about that pattern, I have my fib class available, but I don't think I have a link for it or anything like that. I don't even know if we have a sale going on right now where you can buy it. But my fib class is where I teach the measured bounce, and that's potentially it right there in a nutshell. WHLR is a dumpster fire chart. My goodness. Reverse split, reverse split, reverse split. Don't touch this thing. Just don't touch it. It's not the kind of place you want to be putting your money. Right? They're showing they're not fiscally responsible with the stock price and keep having a reverse split just to stay listed. Gnarly stuff. And another gainer, NVIDIA. Be careful. Lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high. This is concerning. Concerning. As long as we're staying below that downward bias. Now this thing, if you're new here, you haven't been here before, you're like, well, AI is a giant bubble and NVIDIA is standing to make tons of money. And that's what we said about Cisco in the 90s. Like, it's a giant thing. The internet's all going to run on routers. Cisco's the way to play. Came up, went kind of exponential, hit the wall, pulled back, doing some big moves. May continue to do that for a little while. But when we break down, probably going to come back down to this area down here, somewhere around here. Why do I say that? Well, check this out right here. Check this out. We've got this chart over here called the psychology of a market. I call it the bubble pattern. All right. Now, there were a lot of people that don't trade that were talking about, I got to tell everybody I know to buy NVIDIA. I saw that. Every time you see this happen, like I was starting to see this in China stuff this week. This is last week. This is what got me scared. Is everybody, like, even Kramer, just go buy China. Falling in with the bubble. All right, when you see that thrill, right? You get hope. Oh man. Then you get optimism. This thing's real. Belief. I'm believing in it. Then you start telling everybody else to buy. You get this euphoria. We're all going to be rich. This thing's not giving up. And then you get complacent. We just got to cool off a little bit. Hear this a lot in NVIDIA right now. Just need to cool off a little bit. Just need to flush out a few weak hands before we can get the next rally going. And then we break down. People get anxiety. Oh my gosh. My position's underwater. You get denial. They're going to come back. It's a great company. NVIDIA's awesome. World, all the AI is going to run on NVIDIA. And then the panic sets in. Oh my gosh, this thing's fleshing out. You get capitulation. I'm getting out. You get angry. Who's short in the market? Why isn't this thing recovering? Get stuck in these like potential, I want to make my money back. Get that depression. Oh my gosh, I'm never going to, this market sucks. They just take all your money. And then you get the new cycle that starts again. And we go into the new cycle. This is a sucker's rally, and then you get some hope, and you get some disbelief when you stop out. It's a whole thing. Like, this pattern occurs over and over and over every day in the market. Every day in the market. So you got to know where you are on this thing. If it's a bubble, be careful. NVIDIA looks like we might do the rip. All right. And you'd be like, well, there's no way we're going to retrace that deep. JT, you don't know what you're talking about. Like, that's a 77, 70% retrace right there. I don't have to go very far. I don't have to go back very far. Look at this right here. See this high right here? Whoop. 67%. Almost 70%. Maybe like, well, that was when price was way lower. Well, they did a 10-for-1 split. Look at this one right here. 57%. All right. This is in NVIDIA's nature. We get really hyped up, and then the money flows out. Don't get stuck. Don't get too long. Don't get caught in the hypium, the hopium. This thing can retrace 50, 60, 70%. It can do it over the course of, a year or two. We can come back down in the 60 area, 50 area, 40 area. All right, please be careful. That's played out. Lower highs is the first warning sign. Could it go higher? Could. That might not be the top. We may go make a new top. It's even higher before we do the 70% retrace. This is the warning sign right here. I warned starting about when this just recently split 10-for-1. When we were at 700, I was like, this may go to 1,200. And if it does, buy $800 puts and ride them back down, because this is highly likely to come back to the $300 area, which, look at that. We hit the 37, which was 370. We are highly likely. Look at that. We're so close now. That's the same pattern on NVIDIA. We've already broken down through this crap over here on SMCI. We did the blow off top, did the consolidation, we broke down, coming down. This may take a bit longer to go, and we may get down here eventually. And it could go as low as back down to 10. So be careful on that one right there. All right. Hopefully everybody's following me. Hopefully you're still with me. RZLV. Nasty chart. Probably going lower. PDD. Retracing a little bit. Still green though. This is a strong pattern. It set up the likelihood we're going up to 180 on PDD. Even though we got a little pullback, it's probably going for 180 up there. FUTU. Yeah, look at that. Well, a lot of stuff starting to reverse here. These were all declining, but now FUTU start to pop a little bit. I do warn we're going to need a heck of a pullback. Like, this is starting to ramp. It can go even higher. The crazy gets crazier. Baidu, we're just up into resistance. We may need a pullback. Retest the roadmap line before we can go even higher. CWeb reached crazy levels, but we do have the resistance on up here. Just a little higher. The yen, this is leveraged China. If China takes a pullback, this is going down in a blaze of glory. Right there. BABA. We do have resistance right there. Those two highs. We may make 3 highs, really. We may make it up here before we retrace, and we're right in the neighborhood. STZ. Constellation Brands. That has nothing to do with China, but that is drifting lower. The downtrend of highs. Been in a sideways correction for a long time. Not really going anywhere. Not really something I want to be involved in. Tesla. Apparently, when you beat your car production and sales numbers, the mainstream media hates you. They announce that you didn't, and you get a pullback. Looks likely to bust on out. We do have a crazy robo-taxi event coming up on 10/10. This may ramp into that event. And then we have earnings coming up just after that. And then we may pull back on earnings. We may get up in the 300 area, maybe go super crazy higher, and then come all the way back down. We have not broken out yet. This is just getting another retrace. If we do an echo of this move over here, without using fibs and stuff, just an echo, just drawn on there, we could retrace back to this level right. Moving fibs, awesome. Moving fibs. Let's just delete some stuff so we can see more clearly. Grab my red tool so I don't move anything. We may come back into this zone right there, right back around 234. If we just echo this move over here, right there, then we may get that kind of reaction. Take us right up into that $300 area right up there. So we'll see. Do we pull back into the 10-10 event and then launch, or do we just, is this enough? Can we dip it and rip it right now? I don't know. I don't try to. The upside is where we're heading, more than likely, unless we break through support. If we break support, we're coming down to the roadmap line. Break through that, we're going on down. Easy peasy. What's the, you know where support levels are? We start breaking them, watch out below. If we start bouncing off of them, we respect them, we're going on up. TM. Wow. Looked promising for a bounce. And it's just kind of winding up here. We moved up, found rejection on filling the gap. Down, back up again. Nope, couldn't do it. Back down again. Watch out. If we break support, we may go back, make a lower low. May not be done on the downside for Toyota. They're getting the Bud Light treatment at the moment, I guess. Some social media people started attacking them based on their corporate policy. SCCO, Southern Copper. Be careful. I've warned that copper may not be as bullish as people think it is. So we've got this initial move down. We've got a retrace on copper. We're holding the 618 very, very tightly. And we look at that. China ramping off, but this is not ramping off right there. All right. If China's move was so sustainable, why is copper not ripping? This may be indicative that China's going to go back down. This needs to complete the lower low. And this may be setting up for a big, fast flush in copper. Big, fast, how fast? Can go in like a month's time. We could go all the way down to the targets here. Could go faster, but month's time could take us down there. Can it do it while the market's not? I mean, does the rest of the market have to flush to do that? Not really. But we may see that flush out right there. Why does PDF options have a negative price? I'm not sure what you're talking about. EDU rejecting off that 618 area. SAP, let's go look at the US listing of SAP. Needs to retrace back to the roadmap line right in here. PALL. That's palladium. Was kind of being strong. Now, like, look at that. It was strong before China got strong. Now that China's being strong, this retraced. That's an industrial metal and not really indicating we're going higher here. TCOM. Ooh, busting out. Target major resistance up there at 74, 75 area. NTES, even though we're on the decliners list, that was a breakout potentially. Bigger target up here, like 150, 160 on NTES, NetEase. Billy getting a little bit of retrace, potentially breaking out. We need the retrace before we can predict the next spot for upside targets. That kind of played out. We may see a retrace right there. Levi. Probably coming back down. Hymns. Just kind of chugging along. Potential for this to bounce off the roadmap line, that high, that low. Gonna have to break above this 20 area to take it on up to 27 and 30 right there. PPLT. Potential for that to have bounced. We're gonna have to break through this 100 area to take it on higher. It's physical platinum, and this is not indicating we're being very strong on platinum and palladium. Let's go look at the platinum chart. That's sideways consolidation. Looks like it wants to flush down. And then PA 1 palladium. And maybe it can hold the roadmap line. Maybe. Just go look at the futures instead of trying to guess on the ETFs. This is to me, this is indicative that there's still issues with China getting a sustainable rally. JD at the target. Watch for the retrace. MCHI. BlackRock's China ETF. Money's still pumping. You know, this may get a little crazy here, up to 65, even 75, and just keep coasting. You know, people are like, I want my China exposure, and they click it and dump it into China, even though the underlying stuff may start being weak. YUMC, Yum China, trying to break that 618 level. We got the downside targets. Starting to break above. If we can get through this gap, looks promising for a move up to 78.80. We were already in a Yum trade, looking for that bigger move up. We got the smaller target that we talked about the other day. Pretty much hit it right there. Look at that. Ray tracing may come back down before we can go up for the bigger target again. Kind of wild how this stuff works. There's the high, there's the low, there's our bigger target. This high, this low, there it was, and there was the target, and we got it. Retracing, may come back down, find support before we go again. It's wild, right? Like that worked out. KWB. I think it did come like a penny shy of the actual target, but that's the neighborhood. I mean, that. So we've got this resistance at 39, maybe 44 on KWeb. All right, bonus trade for the day. Sphere Entertainment. Check this baby out. We'll give you statistics here in a second. There's the entry right there. That was the trigger. That candle. Today is the entry. Right here. Pulling back just a little bit. The target right up here. Right up in that area. And let me pull up the right here, the details. Make it a little bigger. 52.59 is the official target. Stop below 38.10. Got to add the 0. So Sphere closed at 47.04 with a potential of $5.50 on the upside. Has a historical win rate 75% of the time with a profit factor of 1.645. Now that's not above 2. And through some empirical testing, which means live trades, we found that the ones that are above 2 tend to work out more often and better for us. That's my insider, my Termite Trading Lab VIP group. We find that ones with a profit factor above 2 tend to work out better for us than the ones with lower profit factors. The closer you get to 1, the more of a coin flip it is. Sphere trades have lasted 13 days on average, so this goes pretty fast, but there's only 4 trades in the history since 2020, so not very statistically significant with the 75% win rate. Only 4 trades since 2020. It's only been around for 4 years, so it might work out, it might not. Keep it in mind, maybe more of a coin flip, but that's the setup right there. Looking for that move up right in there, and it's taken 13 days on average, so this is probably a pretty quick mover if it's going to get up there. It's 13 trading days, not calendar days, so we're talking about, you know, maybe closer to 3 weeks right there. All right, so bias for the day on the S&P, let me know if you take this and make out or don't make out. I'd love to hear your story on how it goes. On sphere, this target we can get without having to break out of the box. So we're in this consolidation box kind of thing. We've been kind of sideways since it's IPO over here. This target doesn't require breaking out and running higher than we've been before. So that can work out and it still be just sideways, choppy, hot mess of stuff. All right. S&P, what do we got cooking? Like I said, the low from yesterday is the important thing right here. This low, if we get below it, game on for going lower. If we can break above these highs over here, this downtrend looking good for going on up. Those next upside targets, potentially 58, say 58.30, then maybe 6,000 area above that. All right. If we break down, we're looking at this zone down here around 55.80 to 55.40 as the target. If we start breaking down below this 56.70, 56.60, 56.50 area right down in here. So that's the things to watch. I'm upside biased. I think we're going to get the targets because NASDAQ needs those targets. NASDAQ is unfinished on the upside. We didn't even get the breakout. We didn't even make higher highs yet on NASDAQ. Still high probability we're going up here. Still high probability we're going up here. We just need to find the breakout here, get the continuation right up into that zone. That's what we got for today. I'm going to go be in Discord. If you want to come join me, links in the description. It's like $5 to get there. If you've already bought something, subscribe something, go to the members area, members.prosperitypub.com. Click on the link to get in Discord. You can come chat, hang out. Otherwise, I'll see you again tomorrow. Thanks for coming. Bye for now. Good luck. Stay safe. The account you save may be your own. Bye for now, everybody.